Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday, a Lundy Gras edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Parrish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock, you need a roof. You call Parrish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, and restoredmotions.com. Back home, friendly confines of the Scone family office. So happy to be here. Yesterday, did the show standing outside the Westin New Orleans, which was lovely. We had a great time. Hotel's beautiful, all that stuff. Endymion Ball was amazing. Great night. I mean, A plus everything all the way around until our valet situation, as many of you saw. It took us an hour and 20 minutes to get our car out of valet. And the thing that really upset me is the guy at the valet stand told me, because I went up to him after, it was very clear, there was a wait, it was be a while. It's like, hey, just give me my key. I'll go get my car. It's fine. I mean, I get it. Y'all are shorthanded. It's a holiday. Just give me my key. He goes, I just handed off your key. It'll only be about another 5 minutes. 50 minutes later, we finally got our car. So needless to say, I had words with the fella at the valet stand. And they took they didn't charge me, naturally. Anyway. Okay, so all that. Now, how about this? Report from, let me make sure I get it right. I'm almost positive it was Tom Pelissero. Nope, Tony Pauline, forgive me. Tony Pauline, the wrong TP. Tom Pelissero, Tony Pauline. There we go. Got it. That button. Anyway. Tony Pauline reported that the Saints are considering releasing Tyrann Mathieu. So there's a few things here that a few different elements that are at play. Obviously, there is an emotional element for people here. Tyrann's from New Orleans, played at LSU. He's a local hero. We know all that. We know his story, how he went from, a no-star to a 4-star to Heisman finalist to off the team, out of football to being drafted to being an all-pro caliber safety and won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs and then coming home. And it's an amazing story. It really is. But Tyrann's also 32. He'll be 33 in May. And he's just not, he isn't the player anymore that he was. It's just natural that would happen. But the question is, can he still help you in games? And, when they signed Tyrann to his 2-year extension, it was 2 years, $13.75 million. And they put all the voidable years and everything at the end. His cap hit this year is $11 million. The dead number is 13.8. So I don't know quite how you make this work unless if there is, you could say if you release him before June, so now, you would save. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't save money. It would cost. Yeah, there is no provision whereby releasing him would save you money. Post June 1, it would, but that doesn't help you get into cap compliance now. I don't know how that makes sense. You could restructure again, but you restructured last year. And so Tyrann has money on the books through 2028 already, even though they're voided years. So it's interesting because if you did release him, it wouldn't. If they did release him, it wouldn't help you financially. It would actually hurt you because it would cost you more to release him than it would have him play. But so then if you're going to release him, the question is, like, do you think he's that bad that he's making your team that much worse? Which that's hard to believe. I mean, Tyrann was still one of your leading tacklers a year ago, and you don't actually have a better option right now, which is the other part of it. I mean, Will Harris played safety for you last year, opposite Tyrann. But, after the Saints, after drafting Von Bell and Marcus Williams, I mean, they had some young safeties that they weren't able to retain. And now you're just in a situation where you've got a lot of like special teams guys. I mean, Tyrann, Jordan Howden, JT Gray, Millard Bradford, Ugo Amadi. Those are your safeties. I mean, Gray and Amadi really are special teams guys. Howden's a guy you drafted, that you hope could come along and be better, but he didn't win a starting job last year. Anyway. All right. Just something to keep an eye on here as the league year set to begin on March 12th. So today is the 3rd. So we're 9 days away. So that's when free agency will begin. You'll have the legal tampering period before then and all, but the league year officially begins on March 12th. That's when free agents can sign and all that stuff. Okay, let's say some good mornings here. Hey, Hunter, good morning. Hey, Gunner, good morning. Hey, Chris, good morning. Tiger Diver, great to see the Tigers play, come out with wins. Hopefully cut down the walks. Yeah, so we did a post-game recap yesterday and on today's Locked On. The thing that I mentioned is focus more so on the guys who you think are going to be pitching impactful games for you later in the season. I remember the game that started the whole midweek games don't matter rant. Yeah, remember? Of course, the game that started the whole thing was in 2017. LSU lost a midweek game to South Alabama. And I'm going to go find this game because I'm going to tell you who pitched in that game, and it's going to make sense. So LSU lost 7-6. It was May the 9th. They lost 7-6. And people melted. And the point I made then was, look at who pitched. Like, those guys aren't even going to be on your postseason roster, let alone pitching meaningful innings. So in that game, LSU, they probably started someone who pitched for. Here you go. Okay. Caleb Gilbert started through 2 innings. Then they went to Will Reese, Hunter Keel, Blair Frederick, Colin Strahl, Todd Peterson, Beck through 2/3 of an inning, Bush through an inning, Bain through a 1-hitter, and then Reynolds through 1/3 of an inning. I mean, they threw 10 pitchers in a midweek game, and I would guess 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of them weren't even on your postseason roster. It just, those weren't guys you were going to count on. So I look at it this in the same way with like yesterday, in the sense that we're learning about all these guys, right? And who Jay can count on, and in what situations, and people are developing roles and all that stuff. So you feel pretty confident you've got Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson, Chase Shores, Connor Ware. Okay. You had 4 there. Obviously, they love Case and Evans. He's going to pitch major moments for this team this year. Okay. That's 5. Um, Zach Cohen, for sure. Connor Benj. I mean, it's 7 right there. Guys that you feel really good about. I would throw William Schmidt in there in some role, and then you're going to get Gavin Guidry back. That's 9. That's 9 guys right there already that are going to take the ball for you in moments before you ever get to the Cade Woods, Cooper Williams, Jaden Newt, Maverick Rizzi, tier of the staff. And those guys may end up becoming really good pitchers this year or somewhere down the line. But the point is, when you've got a Cooper Williams or a Maverick Rizzi, like these are freshmen that are getting their first taste of college ball. And you're going to throw them out there in February and March, early March, to see how they fare so you can start to cultivate roles within the pitching staff. So that's what it is. So I'm with you. Like the walks stink, but it's also revealing. It's revealing who you can count on. And right now, guys like Cooper Williams and Maverick Rizzi, Cade Woods, they're struggling a bit. Like I didn't like DJ Primo. DJ Primo, had a really rough outing last time out. He faced 2 batters, hit them both with the bases loaded. And then Primo went out yesterday, pitched the 8th, went 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, which was great to see. Nice bounce back for him. How do you respond? Hey, Jerry, good morning. Bubba, good morning. Abner Neal, good morning. Brian Wynn, good morning. Jerry, it'll be nice if Matthew goes. Go. Really, why? I'm curious why. Big Wade, good morning. Hope all is well. Unless if you're just saying, hey, let him go get a chance to win somewhere else before his career ends. I'd say the same about guys like DeMario and Cam. Rooney, good morning. Hey, Jesse, guess you finally got your car. Hour and 20 minutes, man. Hey, Austin, loving the baseball team, talented from top to bottom. They battle for 9 innings. The other thing, too, Austin, that was encouraging about the weekend, it was my biggest takeaway that I shared with you on the post game yesterday and on Locked On today is they won 3 games this weekend. They won them all in very different ways. Friday was a game against Kansas State where it was back and forth, very tight. You won it in extras. Saturday, you were down 5, scored 10 unanswered. You rallied big. Sunday, you were up big and then had to hold on. So, and by the way, as unsettling as that was, let's not forget that your bullpen did get through the 7th, 8th, and 9th throwing up zeros. So, despite the fact that the middle of the game, after you had the lead, you got a little lax and it got away from you because you started walking guys and hitting guys. You were able to come in the 7th with Benj, Primo, and then Rizzi and Newt. Rizzi walked 2 in the 9th, but Newt got you home. So, hey, Jerry, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Gunner, got my tickets lined out for Clemson next year. Half my family are Clemson alums. We're sitting with them in the Clemson section. Oh, no. Going to be belly of the beast for this one. God bless. Hey, Brian. Matt, the valet, was making an Uber Eats run with your car. Bro, I'll tell you. Like, again, I'm an understanding person. And it takes a lot to get me across that line. But when I cross that line, then I'm not a very pleasant person. And like my biggest issue with that whole situation is the guy lied to me. Like I went up to him, I was like, very, very polite. I was like, hey man, because someone else had done that. He'd given someone else their key to go get their car. I was like, hey man, if y'all are behind, like just hand me my key, man. I don't mind. I'll run and get my car. It's all good. If it's gonna be an hour. He said, actually, just hand it off your key. It'll be 5 minutes. 50 minutes later, after we'd already been waiting for nearly half an hour, my car finally comes because one of the bellmen came by and was like, you're still waiting. So he went up to me. I was like, why is this man still waiting for his car? And so then like he digs in the cabinet and gets my key. So he had not given my key off. And so that's when I went up to him and said, man, hold on. I was like, I asked you almost an hour ago if you like to just give me my key. And you said you would hand it off my key. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, well, like That ain't the answer here, dog. Like, you don't just like you flat lied to my face and said you handed someone my key. It's been in this cabinet the whole time. Like, that part's not okay. He didn't have nothing to say, but anyway. Tiger Pop, did you tip the valet? I tipped the valet, not the guy at the valet stand, but the person who was physically running, because she was the only one working, and she was physically, I was watching her running to get cars, and so I did tip her, and I tipped the man that helped me load my car with all our bags. We had a lot of bags, and he's the one who came up to me and was like, "Sir, you've been like." He was the one who basically went up to the guy. Was like, "What?" I tipped that guy. The guy at the valet stand, I like to punch him in the face. Rooney wanted to say, just want Saints to tank for 2 seasons, reset the cap, accumulate assets. Well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to tank for 2 seasons. You know, and when we say tank, Rooney, I mean, I think there's a difference between like tanking and rebuilding. Tanking is intentionally trying to lose, which I don't think they're going to do, nor should they. But I think if you are going to commit to getting younger, then you acknowledge it's probably going to come with some growing pains, and that's probably the better way to say it. And I'm good with that. Like, I've been okay with that. But clearly they're not. They're still trying to win now. Hey, Thomas, Jinglegate, day 55 for this. Keep it fact. All right, hang on. Let's get that out the way real quick before I forget. Well, Thomas, since I sang it yesterday, did yesterday count? I don't know. Here you go.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Okay, Parish Construction and Roofing. That's for you, Dale. Remember, if you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. If you need a roof, you call Parish Construction and Roofing. We'd love to help you out. Commercial, residential repairs, replacements. We have our own gutter division. Separate resources just for gutters. We have a soft wash division as well, so we can soft wash your roof or the entire front of your house with spring cleanings here. Let us help Parish Construction and Roofing. Toki dokie. Morning, Matt. Milam is an All-American already. A&M might be in trouble if they get going despite others disagreeing. And Dale. A&M lost 4. What did A&M do last night? They played Rice last night. But they lost 4 in a row after being the number 1 team in the country. Did they lose last night? Let's see. Well, boy, this is not a very it's a terrible website layout. Boy, that is, whoever designed this website is not very good. Anyway, so okay, they beat Rice. They run ruled them 14-4 and 7 innings. So A&M did win yesterday, but they lost 4 in a row. And not like they lost to Cal Poly, Texas State, Arizona 3-2, then Oklahoma State 4-0, and they beat Rice 14-4. So the number 1 team in the country, a little bit of melt there, but obviously the thing we talk about, coaching matters. I mean, Jim Schlossnagle out, they promoted Michael Early, the assistant, just to try to keep their roster together. They did, and look what's happened. I mean, they may end up being really good by the end of the season. We'll see, but I mean, it matters. I mean, Smoke Laval inherited the greatest coaching situation you could possibly inherit. I mean, he won 5 titles in 10 years, and he gets the job. And off the residual of that, went to Omaha a couple of times, but just face planted after that. Hey, Chance, good morning. Tigers complete the sweep on Texas Independence Day. Yesterday was Texas Independence Day. I didn't know that. All right, Jerry wouldn't mind if Matthew gets released. Tell me why. Quentin, good morning. Trivia, good morning. Thank you, Trivia. Appreciate that. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Patrick Berglass, Gummalgan, tough loss for that. Guys, we got to stop calling the Lady Tigers. Like, they haven't been the Lady Tigers in 10 years. They no longer call them the Lady Tigers. They're not branded that anymore. They're just the LSU women's basketball team. Okay. So please, we got to stop that. They don't call them the Lady Tigers anymore. Don't feel good about the team going to the SC tournament. Flaugier out. I don't really. So I'm with you, Patrick, about not feeling good going to the SC tournament. The thing I'll tell you is they get the double bye. They're the 3 seed, so they don't play till Friday. So teams have to play Wednesday, Thursday. So whoever LSU plays will either have played consecutive days or two on 2 consecutive days before LSU will have played the day before. So you're going to be in a good situation for that Friday game. You've still got Anissa Morrow, who was exceptional yesterday with another double-double. Michaela Williams was great yesterday, too. Flaugier is your leading scorer. I mean, she's the straw that stirs the drink. Like, not having Flaugier is a big deal, obviously. LSU led by 15 in the third quarter yesterday and blew the lead. That stinks. But I also understand, like, Kim sitting Flaugier is telling you we've got bigger fish to fry, and it's not a Sunday game against Ole Miss or the SC tournament. It's the NCAA tournament. We're trying to win a national championship, so let's make sure our best player is as healthy as possible for the NCAA tournament. So I get it. Brad, how did it take 50 minutes? Could they not find your car? Yeah, incompetence. I don't know. Hey, Dad, good morning. Eli, keeping Carr, letting Tyrann go. Mickey has no pulse for the fan base. Yeah, Eli, okay, here's the thing. The GM shouldn't make moves to appease fans in any. If you're the GM in any sport and you're making moves to appease the fan base, then you're not doing your job well. Like, I don't think he should make a move to appease the fan base. Sometimes, honestly, to do your job well, you have to make difficult decisions. Like, if you were to tell me that releasing Tyrann Mathieu, who's about to be 33 in May, would save you a pile of money against the cap when you're in a tough situation, that makes sense. The reason to keep him would be emotional. The prudent thing would be to let him go. The problem with that is Tyrann has a $13 million dead cap hit, but he's $11 million against the cap if he's on the roster. So basically, it would cost you more for him not to be on the roster than for him to be on the roster. And I don't know how you can justify that, like, because you don't have a better option right now. So we keep Garbage, but cut Tyrann. Garbage. Weston, good morning. Great weekend in baseball. You're worried about how many runs have been given up. I would be more worried if your starters were giving up the runs. Ianson, the 5 spot to start was concerning, but for him to get it together and get you through 6 and throw up 3 zeros after that was encouraging. So let's see how he does this week. And if that continues with Ianson, Connor Ware's right there, and he slides into that role. And then you go lefty, lefty, righty with Anderson, Ware, Shores. But we'll see. Hey, Rex, good morning. Our traditional way of streaming LSU baseball returns to normal, correct? Yes. So for every LSU home game and every SEC game, it's the SEC package on ESPN. This was a one-off where you went and played in a tournament and that D1 baseball organizes, so they had the broadcast rights to it. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. Then let me see. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's any other games where you might have that issue. And honestly, I think the only thing it would be is if you play a midweek road game against a team that doesn't have UNO's here, ULL's here, Tech is here. So you go play Nichols on April the 8th at Nichols. So that's one where, like, I don't know if Southland okay, no, it is on ESPN. So that's on ESPN Plus. So that's not SC Network Plus, it's ESPN Plus. So I don't know if you'll be able to get that just with your normal like cable subscription, or if you have to subscribe to ESPN Plus, but that's an ESPN Plus product. So that's the only one I would tell you, but it's still on ESPN. Truax, what's good, man? Good morning. James McKinney, good morning. Caleb Benson, why haven't we seen Priester behind the plate? Well, Caleb, I think what you just said there kind of answers the question, right? Hernandez has been good, not great. Aaron Beatty has struggled, which freshman probably to be expected. If Priester can't get in there, that's probably telling, right? Now, what I know about Priester is he absolutely mashes the baseball, and he has a cannon for an arm. But I know this was always a thing, like with Travinsky. Whenever I would tell you Milazzo is the best defensive catcher LSU has. He's an elite defensive catcher. He's one of the best defensive catchers LSU's ever had. And a lot of people would just point to like Travinsky when he would throw at a guy stealing, which that is a fraction of the role of a catcher. You've got to be able to be a backstop. You got to block balls in the dirt. You've got to be a still receiver, meaning when the balls come, like your glove has to be still. It's how you can trick umps sometimes into stealing calls. You have to be able to manage the game and control the pitching set. There's a lot that goes into it. Milazzo was on with us last week. I thought he did a great job explaining all that stuff. And, I think Hernandez being a veteran guy probably is the best in that role right now. And if Priester's not getting those innings, despite some of the issues, that's kind of telling. But the flip side of it is Hernandez offensively has been pretty good, man. Like he's hitting 269. His on base percentage is 375. I'm not telling you that's, setting the world on fire. But it almost feels like if you can get 270 out of your catcher in a lineup where Curriel's hitting 432, Jones is at 409, Dickinson's at 366, Milam's at 362, Brown's at 355, Stanfield's at 343. You know what I mean? Like Pearson's batting 400, if Fry's batting 350. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the thing we always talked about. It's like I'll sacrifice a bat at a premium defensive position if you have an elite glove there. Now, he's not an elite glove, but he's probably your best one defensively and his best option, both defensively and offensively at this point. Let's see if we do a few more here. Amy, good morning. Ryan, good morning. Michael, how do you feel about Bo Davis signing with the Saints? Yeah, talked about that a lot last week, Michael. If you want to go check out the Locked on LSU or any of my AFR content on it, I gave you my thoughts on it. We had Pete Jenkins who talked extensively about it as well. Long and the short of it is, it's very disappointing. I think Bo's the best defensive line coach in the country. He's kind of tired of dealing with NIL and everything associated with it. So now he's going to the NFL where he doesn't have to worry about that. So I do think it's a loss. I mean, LSU will now be hiring its 9th defensive line coach since the year 2020, where you had Bill Johnson was your coach in 2020. He retired. You hired Andre Carter. That staff was fired after Ogeron was let go. Jamar Cain came in. Cain left. Gerald Chapman was promoted to interim defensive line coach. Then they hired Jimmy Lindsay. When Jimmy got sick, they moved John Jancic into that role. Then they brought in Pete Jenkins to help. And then this year they brought in Bo. That's 8. And now they're going to be hiring, got to be their 9th defensive line coach since 2020, which is just staggering to think. But, they thought they had found some stability there with Bo, bringing him back home to his alma mater, paying him $1.25 million. You thought you had found your stability, and you don't. Linda, Tyrann's a below average player with an above average salary contract. Please release him. So I think, Linda, I would probably disagree on all fronts there. Tyrann's not a below average player. I don't think he's an elite player, but a below average player you wouldn't even constitute as a starter. Let's see. PFF, I'm looking at PFF safety ranking. So PFF ranked Tyrann as the 10th best safety in the league. So not an all pro, but a starter, a good starter. So I disagree with you there. And I think everybody would disagree with that. And then with an above average salary. But the problem with that, Linda, is like what I talked about. The way it's all about how his salary is structured, right? So he's got 11 million in salary. Well, his dead number is 13.8. So meaning if he's not on the roster, the penalty is it costs you more. It costs you 13.8 million. So essentially, if you keep Tyrann, it costs you 11 million. If you cut Tyrann, it costs you 13.8 million. So it's cheaper, literally, to have him on the roster than to not have him on the roster, which is why it doesn't make a lot of sense to me anyway to release him, which I don't understand that report. Tigers steady putting together while winning. Go Tigers. Ryan, update on D-line coach. Apparently, they went after Gerald Chapman, who just declined and elected to stay at Florida. My best guess on that is, I mean, Chapman has moved Dale. He's a young guy with a young family, and boy, he's never been anywhere. He started his coaching career in 2015. He's never been anywhere longer than 2 years. So my guess is probably just looking for some stability. Matt, you worried about our D-line? We'll go backwards and dumb move by the Saints. I don't know that I'm worried about the D-line going backwards. Let me see who they hire first. Robbie, morning, Matt. I want the Saints to draft the Penn State tight end Tyler Warren. They don't. Trading for Michael Mayer. Yeah, it's interesting about Mayer. I thought Mayer would have been a slam dunk. It goes to show you that there's really no certainties in the draft. But, you know, Brock Bowers was awesome, which is why, by the way, to answer your first question, I would love it if they drafted Tyler Warren. I think he would be fantastic. Everywhere Kellen Moore has been, he utilizes the tight end. Just think of having Goddard in Philly this past year. He had Dalton Schultz in Dallas. The 1 year he was in LA with the Chargers, they didn't necessarily have like an elite level tight end, but they used two guys that combined had a really nice season. So yeah, you get a guy like that who also plays a position where you could expect longevity. Yeah, I would like that a lot. I have a Pavlovian response every time you say Todd Peterson. Cartel Bo, shalom. Good morning, man. Jerry G, good morning. Gunner, also LSU baseball at the number one in D1. Not surprised by that. With A&M losing, it was really either going to be LSU or Tennessee. Tennessee had a nice weekend as well, but yeah, not surprised to see LSU up. Hey, Kelly Gross, good morning. Robbie, Matt, I'm not a Mardi Gras fan. I heard the Argus parade in Jefferson Parish will be canceled because of strong winds. Unfortunate. No doubt, man. That stinks. I did see the Jefferson Parish parades were canceled today because of the high winds, but you got to be safe. But that is very disappointing. I mean, you prepare the whole year for one day and then weather happens and your day is ruined. Hey, Taylor, good morning. Sean, good morning. Walk stink. It's early. Getting a little concerned about LSU's D-line search. I wouldn't worry about that, Sean. I mean, again, like it is a thing where you could end up hiring a coach after spring. Like that, because of the timing of this, like that wouldn't surprise me altogether if the hire was made after spring. I mean, you start spring, your first spring practice is let's see. Is Saturday the 8th. So the first practice is Saturday. So, I mean, I guess you could get someone in this week and ready to go for practice on Saturday, but you're 5 days away realistically. I mean, are you know, I think I mean, I think you could roll in spring with Kevin Peoples coaching the whole D line, Jamar A. Rasco, who was Bo Davis's GA, helping there as well. I think you make it work in spring, and then you bring in your coach, afterwards. But we'll see what they elect to do. I mean, maybe they have someone in the queue that I don't know about. I mean, I admittedly I was out of pocket for much of this weekend, but I'll find out. I'll ask around today. The GOAT, morning. Didn't watch the same game this weekend. Can't wait till they play on TV that is accessible. Okay, see, Jerry, so you're wrong. So the reason he wants to cut Tyrann is it'll help the salary cap, but it won't. Like, that's the point. You have a dead cap figure of over 13 million. His roster number is 11. So if you cut Tyrann, it actually costs you $2 million more. So it would be cheaper to have him on the roster. Caleb Scallion, good morning. Cartel, Matt, how are we feeling about the upgraded D-line coach? That's a funny way to put it, the addition of Bo Davis, because you're flipping it there from the LSU perspective. That is part of it. And so, I mean, I have most people are asking about the loss of Bo Davis at LSU. What about the addition of Bo Davis for the Saints? Yeah, man, I don't want to say. I'll put it to you this way: the Saints have so many needs. Adding Bo Davis isn't going to make you dramatically better to where you'll notice an impact. I am very excited to see him work with Brian Brzee because I think Bo Davis could turn Brian Brzee into a Pro Bowl caliber player. Brzee took a really big jump from year one, where he felt like a guy that was pretty good as a situational interior pass rusher, to a guy that could be an every down interior lineman. Would love to see Bo get his hands on Brzee and make him, another year better. I think they got to add somebody else, especially if you're trying to transition to a 3-4. Colin Saunders, Nathan Shepard don't actually fit the mold of what Brandon Staley would want to do. So draft, free agency, I imagine they're going to add another big body on the interior. So that'll be fun to see. But yeah, Cartel, if you're asking where it would help, I mean, maximizing a first round pick like Brian Brzee, I think that's where you'd look. Hey, Miracle, good morning. Thanks for your after game live streams. Ask Erica how much different is baseball season coverage from football affecting family time, and baked any of this tasty treats. Well, she's still sleeping right now. So Erica and Drew are off of school today. Erica's off all week. Drew's off today, tomorrow. So that's why we're a little later and going longer today. We'll do the same tomorrow. But then Drew's back to school on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we're back at our normal time, 7:15 Central. David, good morning. Austin, takes a lot to make me a Ken. Went across the line. It's not pretty. Oh, man, I'm behind here. Oh, wow. Wendell, good morning. Thomas, yesterday didn't count. All right. Can they approach Honey Badger for a pay cut? Sure, they could. Would he take it to stay? I don't know, maybe. But they'd effectively have to tear up that contract and rework one. But that would also include extending years onto the deal, which I don't know. Which, honestly, I don't know that they would do, because you've already got him under contract with dead money through 2028, man. Mike, who benefits most from Bo Davis signing with the Saints? Brian Brzee. Think Pete Jenkins would step in for the spring? Nope. Ben had Pete Jenkins on last week, and he said, I got nothing left in the tank. Mike, I'm all for youth movement with the Saints, even if we have to eat the dead money and be reloaded with resources in 26. I'm with you in that sense, Mike, but you still have to get within cap compliance for the start of the league year in the middle of this month. So, let's see. Manny, good morning. Linda, Tyrann off score listed 105 out of 170, not type 10. I mean, here's top 32 ahead of the 2024 NFL season. This was before last year, but they've got Tyrann Mathieu ranked as the 10th safety in the entire NFL going into last year. I can look at the postseason if they have it. I don't see a postseason ranking, but that doesn't change the fact Linda, that your point about saving money still remains incorrect. So let's see. It says draft rankings from PFF, free agent rankings. Yeah, I don't see a PFF ranking for 2025. We'll see when they do it. Point remains, you can look at an overall score, and I'll look at that. I'll pull it up real quick. Let's see. Either way, let's see. So Tyrann finished last year with 62 tackles. Did he miss games last year? Tyrann played in. Seemed like everybody missed games last year. Okay, Tyrann played in all 17, which is rare. I mean, God bless him. He stayed healthy, which nobody did last year. So 62 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 47 solo. So Tyrann finished with 62 tackles. So I'm with you on declining production for an old guy who's going to be 33. Do you have options? That's one. And two is still the money issue where if your primary concern right now is get within cap compliance, which you have to do before the start of the league year, it's still going to cost you. I mean, unless if there's something that I'm missing looking at his salary number, which I don't think there is, like looking at his contract. His 2025 cap hit is 11.3. His dead number is 13.8. So it would cost you $2.5 million more to cut Tyrann. So you ask yourself the question, like, is it worth eating an extra $2.5 million? Is it worth eating $13.8 million in dead cap money this year? Because then you would have to go find another player that would cost you even more. Like whatever it would cost you, right? It would still cost you on top of that to have that safety position filled. Like that continues to be the point that doesn't make sense. Like if we were looking at a cap number where Tyrann's cap hit was 11.3 and his dead number was 2 million, and you're going to save 9 million against the cap, then that becomes a very easy decision. I'd be with you on that, but it's not. Like you're balancing this point where it's going to cost you more to get rid of a starter than it is to have him back on the team. So what do you do? Like what's your option? Trivia, the Saints serious about drafting Milrow, so they will Taysom Hill him. Remember, I don't know that the Taysom Hill role exists anymore. Like that was a Pete Carmichael thing that you did carry over into this season with Kubiak to a degree, but Taysom's also going to be coming off a knee injury. Do you put Milrow in that role? Maybe, but I don't think you're drafting Milrow to make him a jack of all trades guy. I just don't think they should draft Jalen Milrow. Like I'm just not high on him as a quarterback at all. Charlie, Brett, Justin, is it just me or does it seem like Bear Jones kind of calmed down and has been swinging for contact instead of swinging for the fence? That's undeniable. I mean, one of the most impressive things about Jones this year has been his patience and plate discipline, which is not easy when you're a power hitter and teams are pitching around you all the time. Like, Jones's willingness to take walks and hit to all fields has been so massively impressive. But it's also helpful because you've got Dickinson batting behind him that has made teams pay for doing that. On Wednesday against Dallas Baptist, they walked Jones intentionally, got to Dickinson, who hit a 3-run homer. In the game on Sunday with a base open, they pitched to Jones so as not to have to pitch to Dickinson with the bases loaded. They pitched to Jones. He had an RBI double. Jones is hitting 409. He's got 6 strikeouts, 12 walks. So twice as many walks to strikeouts. I love that ratio. Yes, his on-base percentage, 533. His plate discipline has been awesome this year. It's showing the evolution of the ability to hit for average and not just for power. The power tool has always been there for Jones, like since he showed up on campus. His swing and miss and sometimes lack of plate discipline was the problem. He's completely cut that down, which is awesome to see. So, okay. Let's see. All right, y'all, I think we got to get going here. Hey, Jeff, good morning from Park City. Moonfish, can't tackle and useless in man coverage. Tyrann get injured every game. Tyrann played every game. So, Steve, been a while. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Steve. It has been a while, man. Took my 7-year-old son James's first LSU baseball game Saturday. Great win against Nebraska. What a game to see, huh? For your first one ever. Any word on when Guidry will return? Jay was nondescript about it. I'm sure whenever we get to chance to talk to Gavin, I guess I could just ask him. But Jay was asked, was an arm injury? Said no, it's lower body. And then clarified, said actually like middle of the body. So you would think that's somewhere in the core, like oblique or something, something like that. But we'll see. We'll find out in turn. Okay. Mike, is Bo style developing lineman work with a 3-4? Absolutely. Remember he was at Alabama under Saban where they ran a 3-4. So, yes, I think he'll do great. Okay, let's get out of here, y'all. I got to go. I got to get up to guarantee. All right, thanks for watching. Y'all have an awesome day. Sponsors always linked in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook. And we'll see you for AFR 3. Locked on LSU is already live. Y'all have a great day.